And in our news tonight, the latest small step in what promises to be a very long journey when it comes to PFAS contamination in Maine.
An arm of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control is in Maine to assess just how contaminated farmland in the town of Fairfield and the water table below it really are, and what people in town can do to reduce their exposure to the toxins. Here's News Center Maine's Vivian Lee.
It's a nightmare from which Ashley and Troy Rennie can't wake up.
We did ingest something poisonous, so down the road we could have problems.
In November of 2020, just months after purchasing their dream home, the couple discovered their drinking water was literally poison, testing more than 1,200 times the state's current drinking water standards for industrial chemicals known as PFAS. The source of the high levels of contamination in their well, along with their neighbors on Howell Road, was groundwater runoff from a nearby dairy farm. Leftover wastewater sludge laced with PFAS had been spread on the fields as fertilizer for years. The compounds have been linked in studies to kidney and testicular cancer, increased cholesterol, and reproductive problems.
The unknown is just, I think, the hardest part. Not knowing if you're going to be sick later on.
More than 18 months ago, Ashley asked the CDC's sister agency, the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry, to assess the public health danger from the contamination.
We evaluate that data and determine if we think that the amount of chemicals that people are exposed to, in this case PFAS.
Tara Summers, the New England Regional Director for ATSDR, told town councilors last month that the agency will evaluate PFAS concentrations in water, soil, and local food sources, such as deer and fish. Officials also met with nearly 24 people, including the Rennies, to identify exposures and determine how that impacts public health. Town manager Michelle Flewelling welcomed the assessment in a community where more than 100 private wells were found to have high levels of PFAS.
I think it could be great information for anybody else across either the state of Maine or the country, quite frankly, maybe even the world, depending on how bad a community's exposure level is.
The report could take up to 2 years to complete and could bring more future visits from the ATSDR to Fairfield.
Knowing that it's going to take a while and knowing that, we're still kind of stuck here per se, it's stressful.
And the waiting drags on for answers to what the future holds when it comes to all aspects of their lives. In Fairfield, Vivian Lee, News Center, Maine.